everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Sharon and this is a channel that is dedicated to all things related to narcissism. I've been married to a covert narcissist for almost 20 years. I'm separated from him now, and what I do with this channel is I use my real life experiences to get information out there to people about what narcissism really is, what it looks like, what it does to you, and what it does to your family. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to take your life back from a narcissist. If you were or are involved with a narcissist, you understand that that relationship is soul destroying. Narcissists are truly the evil among us. If you know what goodness is, if you know what kindness is, if you know what love is, you have to be comparing that against something else. Otherwise, you wouldn't know what it was. Narcissism is one of the things that you're comparing it against. Narcissists truly have no compassion, no love, no empathy. They really only have malicious intent. They will destroy you if you don't put a stop to it. That's the reality of who a narcissist is. So if you are involved with somebody like this, the only chance you have to have a good life, to be happy and fulfilled, is to not be in the relationship with a narcissist. I get it if that's not what you want to hear. So many people, when you first hear about this, when you first hear about narcissism, you believe the narcissist can change. And you believe the narcissist can change because you think you know them. You think, well, I knew who they were at the beginning of the relationship. They were so kind. They were so wonderful and so loving. They used to write me poems and buy me flowers. You're thinking these things. The truth is that narcissists are actors. They will pretend to be whoever they have to be to get what they want. And they want a relationship. Narcissists want relationships because it benefits them. It benefits them to have a relationship. First off, people look highly upon them if they have a relationship. They'll try to get the best person possible, the best looking person possible, because they like looking good to other people. That's why they like having kids. Narcissists don't care about their children, but they like having children because it benefits them. They look good when they have children. Now they have a family. People admire that about them. That makes the narcissist feel good. They're not going to be a family person, but they like the way the family looks. They like having you because you do things for them. You take care of them. They're not alone. These are all advantages to the narcissist, but they don't want to give you anything in return. It's so crucial to understand this, and I recognize how painful it is. But the point of my channel is to help people, not coddle people. So when you're with a narcissist, they're like a cancer. And just like if you really had cancer, if you had a tumor, you have to exorcise this tumor. If there are any little bits of it left, any cancer cells, it's going to metastasize. So when it comes to narcissism, it has to be complete obliteration. I really look at it like I would if somebody broke into my house. If somebody broke into my house and was trying to hurt me or my children, I would use force against them. I would have to. I would feel like this was necessary. Somebody is trying to harm me. I have to defend myself. The same thing with a narcissist. They are trying to harm you. They're trying to harm their children. They're trying to harm everybody that they come into contact with. You have to defend yourself. You have to get rid of them. They can't be in your life and you have any level of happiness. So I'm going to talk about in today's video what I did to get rid of my husband, what I did to end the relationship. Now, my relationship ended by divine intervention. That is true, but some of the consequences of that are things that you can do yourself. In 2016, I was delivered from codependence. That really was the catalyst for ending my relationship. Some of the things that I did as a consequence of that are exactly the things I recommend that you do in order to move on from the relationship and have a happy life. So I'll just tell you what happened to me. In April of 2016, I woke up fully codependent. Now, narcissists typically go after codependents, and as a former codependent, I can tell you what codependents do. Codependents are people that want to give, that forgive easily, that end up, if you're not careful, being a doormat. Being a codependent is not a good thing. Being loving, kind, and generous is, but when you're loving, kind, and generous to a fault, where it hurts you, where it hurts your children by the decisions you're making, that's when it's a problem. So when I was with my ex, for the majority of the relationship, I was codependent. I would forgive him no matter what he did. He would financially betray me. He would hurt me terribly. He was physically abusive, emotionally abusive. He drove drunk with my kids. He was hiding everything from me. I forgave him. I thought it was my duty to forgive him. What I was totally missing, what went straight over my head, was that it wasn't my duty to forgive him. It was my duty to be a good wife according to what he did. It wasn't my duty to be a good wife and generous and kind despite what he did. There's a huge difference there. A marriage is a two-way street. If one person is doing all the giving and the other person is doing all the taking, that isn't a marriage. That is a slave relationship. So understand this if this is you in a relationship. So I thought I was being good. I thought I was being a good wife. What I was really doing was hurting myself and my children. Now for me, God saved me from this. And I know not everybody's going to believe this, but this is true. This is what really happened. In April of 2016, one day I woke up and I was fully codependent. That afternoon, I was not codependent anymore. What happened was that I was listening to the radio, and the radio announcer said something on the radio. I'm not going to say what it was because it doesn't really matter for the video. It'd be inconsequential if I told you. It was just something privately related to me. As soon as he said it, something immediately switched in me. It was really like a light switch just went off. All of a sudden, I wasn't codependent anymore. It happened instantaneously, just like that. Because of that, I stopped giving my ex narcissistic supply. That immediately led to his downfall. Because he didn't get narcissistic supply over a 3-year period, what happened to him was that he had to be forcibly dragged out of the house by the police several times. He was in a mental hospital. He was homeless. He was a hardcore alcoholic. He stopped having any relationship with his children. He ended up abandoning his children. All these things happened because I was no longer codependent. This is an important lesson for all of us to understand. If you are in a relationship with a narcissist and you are not the narcissist, you are the relationship. The entire strength of the relationship is you. So however strong you are or however weak you are, that is how strong or weak your relationship is. A narcissist doesn't give anything to the relationship. Now, I didn't realize this. I didn't realize I was the relationship. So that really means that there is no relationship. The narcissist is by themselves in the relationship because they're just taking. They're not giving anything. So you can't even say that they're a part of the relationship. You are doing all the giving. So same thing. I mean, there's no relationship if it's not give or take. A relationship implies two people giving and taking, two people working together. When it's two individual people, one doing all the giving, one doing all the taking, that is not a relationship. So really, when you're trying to save something, when you're in a narcissistic relationship, you're not saving anything. You don't even have a relationship. In order to save a relationship, there has to be some give and take. So this is happening to begin with. So my ex wasn't getting any narcissistic supply. That I shouldn't say immediate, over a few-year period, that led to his immediate downfall. But one of the things that I learned, there's 2 things I want to mention before I tell you some of the things that were a consequence of this. For those of you that are saying that the narcissist can change, that they're telling you that they want to change, that they're crying even, I want to just tell you another thing that happened when that light switch went off and I lost codependent, when I wasn't codependent anymore. There were 2 things that happened when the radio announcer said that. One, I stopped being codependent. The other thing is that God forced me. I mean, literally, it was like he took me by the shoulders, brought me over to a mirror and stood me in front of it and wanted me to look deeply at myself. There was something that I had done when I was in my early 20s that I did not feel bad about. I had hurt somebody else, and God forced me to look at that. It was so excruciating for me to look at this. This was something I did. I hurt someone else, and I didn't care about it. I didn't feel bad about it. God had me look at it, and it gutted me. It was so painful. It took me, this happened in April of 2016. It took me through the summer. It was probably like August or so that I really started feeling better about it. I had to look at myself and I had to confront some negative parts of myself. There was one point I literally was laying on my bathroom floor in agony. I felt so bad. I was so gutted. God let me get away with this for over 10 years. But when I had to confront it, I had to confront it, and it hurt. For a narcissist to change, for a narcissist to be a better person, they would have to be able to do what I did. Look in the mirror and confront the ugly realities of themselves. Now, I am by no means a perfect person, and there's more than just this one thing that I did wrong, but I can tell you my entire life is not abuse after abuse after abuse after abuse. A narcissist from early childhood has lost their complete identity, and they just use people so they would be forced to look in a mirror, seeing a multitude of sins. They would have to confront that, accept it about themselves, vow to be better and change their entire being to accommodate the goodness that they now want to be. A narcissist does not have that ability. They just don't. I mean, think of what they have to do. A narcissist at their core believes that they're better than everybody else. They're better than you. They're better than everybody. That's how they live their life. That is their existence. That is who they are. They don't have compassion or empathy. They can't, they hurt their own children. Sometimes I literally sit here and I think to myself, how can my ex live with himself? How can he do it? He's been so cruel. I don't understand it. And I know all narcissists are like that, not just my ex. So for a narcissist to change, please consider that what they would have to do, because they'll tell you that they're going to change. It's easy to say that. I can tell you anything. You could tell me anything. But I've said before in my videos, words are easy. It's action that matters. If you say something and no action backs it up, it doesn't mean anything. So just please keep this in mind if you're thinking, believing, hoping, praying, needing the narcissist to change. The truth, and it's a hard reality, it just is, it sucks really, but you have to move on without the narcissist. It's your only chance of happiness. So with that said, I'm going to mention really one thing. There are many, different facets off this, but one thing that changed my life forever, that freed me from the narcissist. One word: truth. Start speaking your truth. Don't hide the truth anymore. I stopped hiding the truth. I said exactly who my ex was. I told him exactly who he was. I told the police who he was, therapist, pastor, friends, everybody. And it wasn't like I was just calling people up like, oh, I just wanted to let you know something about my ex. It was just as things came up. My ex, for example, he tried to get me arrested. I told the truth about that, and he was dragged out of the house. My ex, he tried to turn everybody against me. I said my truth. Everybody's on my side. My ex tried to have me think that nobody liked me. I started being myself. I started speaking my truth. I have lots of friends now. Truth will set you free. A narcissist is like a cockroach. They have to hide in the dark. You turn on the light switch, they all go scurrying away. You start speaking your truth, you're going to be a different person. Narcissists want people that hide, that cower, that are afraid of their own shadows. And that's who I was for a long time. I was afraid of everybody, everything. All I wanted was my narcissist to change. I wanted him to be a better person. The truth, and this is your truth too, it's everybody's truth. In order to be free of the narcissist, you have to be stronger. You have to grow. You have to speak your truth. Really and truly, that's what you have to do. I tell everybody, now I have the whole YouTube channel on it. This is what I do. And it's not like I'm just like people that don't know me or anything, but I'm not afraid to say who it is. I own my truth. I own my reality. It's changed my life. If you are with a narcissist, if you are trying to get over a narcissist, start speaking your truth. A narcissist can't handle that. A few things I did also with my ex, I stopped giving him supply. And this, ties into the truth. I met him. I hadn't seen my ex. In the last year, I've seen my ex like 1 or 2 times. Last time I saw him was in December. Now, we met in a parking lot because we had to exchange tax information. I was not fake with him. I has my truth right there. He wanted to come. He saw me and he came over and he hugged me. I just stood there with my hands to my side. I didn't do anything. He didn't know what to do. He just backed away from me and he started crying. I held my truth. I wasn't going to pretend that I cared about him. I wasn't going to pretend that I was happy to see him. I just stood there. I had to give him information. I told him ahead of time I wasn't going to meet him at the house. It was going to have to be in a parking lot. And I just stood there. I stood my ground. This is the type of thing you have to do. You have to be strong around the narcissist, and they will collapse. They really will. Now, recently, some of you might know I made a video about this. My ex is trying to hurt me because he's not giving me money, even though he's supposed to. He promised he was going to pay the mortgage. Now he's not doing that. I'm ignoring him. I'm purposely ignoring him. I'm trying to figure out what I should do. I'm either going to have to call my lawyer. I'm trying to figure out what to do, but I'm not giving in to him. He's trying to get me to react. I have my truth. I'm not going to beg him for anything. I'm not going to do anything like that anymore. I am going to hold strong to who I am. This is what it takes. It takes strength, it takes fortitude, it takes patience, and it takes time, but ultimately you will win. You really need to look at the narcissist as a little cockroach scurrying around. You will be victorious if you stand tall to the end. If you do this, I promise, we're all going to come up victorious, and there's going to be a better life for each of us. My life has changed dramatically since I've done this, really, and I want this for all of us. So thank you so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. I hope it helped. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to the channel. I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on all things related to narcissism. So if all goes well, I will see you in Wednesday's video, and I hope everybody has a wonderful week. God bless you all.